Happy October 14th. Happy Canada Thanksgiving Day, right? National Thanksgiving Day.
That's right. Thanksgiving. We do it early here in Canada. You guys like to do it, I don't know, near Christmas, but we get it done when the crispy fall season sets in.
Yes, no better time to do it than October, November. This podcast, the Slice Tennis Podcast, is brought to you by Betway, the best betting partner in the game. And we had an interview this week. So the episode with me and Steven will be a little bit shorter. We interviewed my guy, Jonathan Young, aka XXL Tennis. That's what he is on Instagram. He goes viral all the time. Venus Williams commented on his video. He gets millions of views. And after getting to talk to him, he truly is one of the nicest, most warm, welcoming people you guys will meet. So you will love him. A true grassroots tennis guy. And I'll tee the interview up a little bit more when we get to that point. But for this show, of course, we're going to talk about Sinner and Djokovic. Steven put up a little reaction video, and the comments started getting flooded. He will speak his piece on it because the hate is crazy. My man can never win. Then, unfortunately, Nadal, he announced his retirement with an epic video, 4.5, 5 minute long video. So we got to reminisce on some of our favorite Nadal moments, what we'll miss about him, what we loved about him, what we could have hated about him. Federer matches. And then, of course, we'll jump into the interview, and then we'll do our smash or pass, and we'll get out of here. Steven,
that's right.
What happened this week?
Well, a lot of, parenting things. I'm very tired. So anything, it should be like anything I say on this podcast or on the Slice in general should not be used in a court of law against me. Basically, the days are wearing, like, Shepard, our son, is very, like, he's a good sleeper for a newborn, but it still adds up. Like, I haven't slept 7 hours consecutively for a month now. So I don't know. Have you ever done that, JP? Have you ever gone a month without one good night of sleep?
No, probably not a month, but I do not sleep well. Not like a lot of times I don't sleep well. This weekend, we might have slept 7 hours total.
Jeepers. Well, we'll get into your weekend and why that happened, because that's cool. But yeah. So I would say that I normally, before the kid, would sleep 8 hours straight, like, every night. Like, it was I was a good sleeper. But so it's starting to wear up in me, but life's good. I golfed this week, which was awesome. I hung out with Shepard a lot. No complaints. Life's good right now. I don't know what else to say. I did put out a video about Shanghai final, which was a great final, I thought. And I thought it was a really close match that could have gone either way. But apparently, a lot of you feel differently, which is great. I love the banter. There's over 130 comments on the last video. And we'll get into that in due time. But before that, JP, how was your week? What did you do? Did you do anything, like, notable or, memorable this week?
This weekend, man, I'm trying to think. Let's see. What did I do? Oh yeah, we were with what's his name? We were with Donald Trump on Friday for my current job, just in Chicago with 45. Then after that, so that was actually that was everything that you guys would think when you see Donald Trump. Whatever your opinions are of him on his personality, it was all true. He walked into the room. He immediately did his hands. He called us all handsome. Talked in circles for a little while, and then we got into some sports talk, and it was funny. So if y'all do want to see that interview, it's not a political interview, so don't worry about that. But it's on the Bussin' with the Boys page. And we were talking about it in a group chat. There's only been 46 people to lead the United States. 46 people in the whole country.
Yeah,
the whole country's history. So it's like pretty cool to be in the same room, regardless of how you feel about any of those types of people.
Did you invite him on the Slice? Would he talk tennis?
Oh, he would talk tennis. He likes tennis. He's a country club guy,
for sure.
So he would definitely talk tennis. Maybe we'll try to reach out to him. We don't want him to use us, like he knows he comes here, he'll get into the favor of the world. So it's like we need to make sure it's in our best interest.
We'll have both. We'll invite Kamala and Donald and whoever comes on, open invite.
We'll do a 4-box screen with everyone. We're just talking tennis.
Numbers will go crazy.
Yeah. But no, it was cool. And then we flew from Chicago to Eugene, Oregon. I was right near you.
Wow, that's pretty close.
Um, yeah, we went to the Oregon Ohio State football game, which was one of the best games of college football so far. We got to rush the field with the Oregon fans, which is always a
Okay.
blast. Um, Oregon is so special, man. Like that campus is so cool. The Pacific Northwest is just awesome. It's only my
Mhm.
second time out there, and I cannot say enough good things about it. I can't wait till when I see Canada and Vancouver.
It's gonna be
But
crazy.
in order to do that, I'm gonna need some money.
That's right.
And the best way to do that is our best bet of the week, of the coming weeks, presented by Betway. This Betway is the best place to bet. You got to be 19 and older to play, and it is in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Please, for the love of God, play responsibly. Steven, you have a responsible pick for us because we have a future or a past winner in your prediction.
That's true. So betting responsibly includes not listening to me all the time. So, take this with a grain of salt because it hasn't been a good record as of late. But so in Stockholm, ATP Stockholm 250 going on this week. We've got a really good field there. Andre Rublev, Matteo Berrettini, Grigor Dimitrov, Tommy Paul, amongst a lot of others, and Casper Ruud, Scandinavian boy up there. It's an amazing tournament. If you go to any tournaments like that are 250s in Europe, you got to try and go to this one if you're in the area in the time. Like it's in this old tennis hall. They literally call it's the tennis Hallen. It's like
That's
it's
sick.
like the King's tennis hall. And it's like a wooden domed roof, like super long, like there's like multiple courts. They're like, courts are usually side by side. These ones are
Right.
like end by end. And the
Oh,
main one
snap.
has like all these wooden seats around it. And the cool thing though is you can like lean up like kind of at the top of the stands and walk around as the point's going on. Like no one cares if you're moving around. And it's just a great tournament. So Tommy Paul won it in 2021. I believe it was his first AATP title. He beat our guy Denis Shapovalov.
Mm.
So he knows Tommy Paul knows how to play on a fast indoor hard court. He's at plus 600 to outright win the tournament. He's below Grigor Dimitrov, below Matteo Berrettini, who's like not even ranked high, and
Yeah,
below Andre Rublev. So I think there's a bit of value in Tommy Paul there, TP Swizzle. So that's my
for
pick,
sure. Because
JP.
Berrettini, he's still fighting the injury, I would
Well,
imagine.
he's been injured for so long. He's trying to kind of get his form back and win like multiple matches in a row. Um, but I mean, he is dangerous, so it's not like it's not totally crazy to have him up there because his serve can just like delete you from like the match.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think Tommy Paul's a sleeper there for sure.
I kind of rock with the Stockholm Open trophy too. It reminds me of like
Oh yeah.
I want to say it looks like the NBA MVP trophy.
Is it? Yeah, I forget. It's like big, or wait, it's like a circle. Is that right?
Yeah, it's got that like the ball, like a big ball on top.
Yeah, yeah. And you walk through it's like a tennis club at the end of the day, right? So you like, but a lot of tournaments are, I guess, technically, I guess most tournaments are a tennis club at the end of the
Right.
day, even like Wimbledon, for example, and the U.S. Open. Um, but you go through that, it's like all the pictures of because it's a lot of these tournaments aren't as old as the Stockholm one, and
Mhm.
all the pictures of the past winners like Roger Federer, Thomas Engqvist, like every player you can think of has won that tournament, and it's a smaller tournament, which is really cool. So, anyways, that's
Yeah.
my best bet of the day.
Heck yeah. I'm tailing Steven. Tommy Paul's a wagon in Stockholm. And now here we
He's a
are.
wagon.
Oh, we got to hit the results from the week. If you guys are
Okay.
subscribed to the slice, you already know the results of the
Correct.
week. But Yannick Sinner gets it done. In the words of Stephen Boughton, best hardcore player of the
It's
year.
obvious. It's undeniable, really, isn't it, JP?
It is undeniable. And then is it undeniable that I don't know if we want it? Is Sabalenka, is she the best hardcore female player?
Yes, correct.
So we have two undeniably goats of the hard court for 2024 tennis season, Yannick Sinner and Sabalenka.
Yeah, I mean, goat's a pretty crazy word to use there when it's like in a set period of time, but yeah,
Yeah, go
like
to
it's
go to 2024 hard court, bro.
greatest of all time in 2024. It's like go. It's like go 2024, like greatest of all 2024.
We need to send them like a trophy or something to let them know. Like, hey, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you just won the Slices Go 2024 hardcourt.
They're like actually JP and Steve. I don't know if you know this, but the ATP and WTA will actually send us a trophy where it's like the year end number one.
You're like, right, but that's not the Slice.
That's not legitimate. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Anyways, yeah, Sinner wins in Shanghai over Djokovic, and I don't know if you were able to watch any of the match, JP. I watched it not live. I watched it replay, which was great because I was able to kind of like really kind of slow it down a bit. And yeah, it was kind of it was an impressive match from Djokovic, I thought, because Sinner has been the best hardcourt player all year long, and he's a beast. And Djokovic, being the older player, less powerful player at this point in his career, was able to hang with him from the baseline and really do damage, changing direction of the ball, not really getting dominated in the baseline exchanges. And it was a tiebreak first set, and then one break in one game. Sinner got 2 break points in one game in the second set, and secured the break on the second point. Other than that, there was no breaks. People say that Djokovic didn't get any break points at all in Sinner serve, and that's true. But they did go to a tiebreak, so like a tiebreak is a coin flip. But I got
So
kind of
what?
roasted. So we got
That's
What
what
were you
I'm
gonna say?
trying to figure out. As you're breaking it down, as you even just look at the score from if like surface level, if you type in Djokovic versus Sinner and you see the score, it's like why would people be upset with your
Well, that's well, you were saying something about tennis fans, but like this guy, this at I guess on YouTube says, Novak didn't barely lose anything. Sinner beat him. Is this a Joker Stan account? That's what his comment was. I'm like, that's got to be one of the crazier comments I've ever seen.
yo?
You must be new here.
Hey, I just saw a crazy comment.
What did it say?
This is T Junior 4459. I don't and it has 33 likes. I don't think the match was close at all. Djokovic definitely played his best tennis. I really don't think that was Sinner's best tennis.
I mean, could be true. Could be true. But like, that to say that it wasn't close at all is the untrue part of that. I don't know. It's very subjective to say Djokovic didn't play or played his best tennis and he still couldn't beat Sinner, even not his best. That's probably not true. But it was like objectively close. Like I don't people. What do you want it to be like 7-6, 6-7, 7-6 for it to be a close match? Like
Right.
in pro tennis, 7-6, 6-3, one break is close.
But I mean, I don't and you might disagree with it, but because the guy is saying this is Djokovic's best tennis, then I love watching the comments, just
Oh
everybody
yeah,
battle each other.
yeah.
And this guy, Djokovic played his best tennis, question mark. He played 3 matches since the Olympics and he's almost 38, which makes it harder to get back in shape. Djokovic only allowed 2 break points all in one game for the whole match. Sinner used the opportunity to win, yada, yada, yada. He kind of just sort of disproved himself because it sounds like Djokovic did play an insane match, but only 3 matches since the Olympics is crazy.
Well,
And then to make
I
it
think it
to
was before that tournament.
before the tournament, yeah.
Yeah, because but yeah, I mean, I love it. This is what the Slice is. It's a community of like tennis people, like fans who know, who are all in. And JP, you can kind of see that obviously. Like, I love this one guy. He goes, "I stopped at could have gone either way." He said, essentially, I think he means I stopped watching, which was like I said, could have gone either way. Like that was my third sentence of the video before the intro video played. He was like, I was like, wow. So you stopped there and you spent more time writing a comment than watching the video. Respect. I would, at least hear my argument. Like that
At
doesn't
least hear
like
it.
I laid out my argument, and some of these people have engaged with it, which I love. I feel honored that people actually care what I say, and this is funny. I think I said it was a great match. Patrick Henry says this was not a great match. Djokovic was lucky to get to the final as he was on the other side of the draw to Sinner, Alcaraz, and Medvedev due to seeding. Going forward with Sinner and Alcaraz at number 1 and 2, he will have to beat both to win the title. I don't think so. He should retire like Nadal. Time is up. Damn,
Dude,
Patrick.
this comment section is truly a war zone. Julian Orwell, I stopped at could have gone either way.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know. All right.
appreciate the view.
Brings
And
down the
then
average, but
this one is
still do it.
crazy though. to me. Not sure the Joker could win another Slam or Master 1000 if he wants to absolutely win the 100 tournament. He'd better try with an ATP 500 or 250. I get the second part of that to an extent, but it's like, how do you say that about a guy that just made the final of a Masters 1000 and played against the best hardcourt player this year? And like you said, played a close match. What do you mean he couldn't win another Master 1000?
And won the Olympics, beating Carlos Alcaraz in the final and made the Wimbledon final right before then. Like, that is crazy.
You can never win.
And you're kind of making the Slice comment section look a little low IQ with that comment, I think, which is too bad. But yeah, Djokovic is, I literally said in the video, I said, his competitive level going into 2025 after this tournament looks great, because there's like Alcaraz, Sinner are two guys that are going to be a serious problem for him. That's true for sure. Like, I think at this point they're a little tiny, like, or at least they both believe they can beat him every time they step on the court, and like
for sure
are pretty even with them. But he's still beating everyone else more times than not. Medvedev can play with him, but like at 38, like that's a really good. Like, the only reason he should retire now is because he's just bored of playing and winning. Like,
yeah, you got to imagine. I would think he would want number 100 to be at a Masters 1000, and I think that could be his last. Whenever he gets 100, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires shortly after.
Yeah. And then that's like one more thing, that he just hasn't done. I guess he's like, oh, you got that to 100. But there's I think Jimmy Connor is like most, if you look up most men's tennis titles, it's Jimmy Connor's. No.
Let's see.
They just show majors. I think it's Jimmy Connor's at like 112 or something like that. I think Federer's second.
I'm about to pull it up right here too.
Why don't they just show like actual just total number of tournaments won?
Which this thing is like an actual problem, what you're saying right here, because it should be way easier to search. Here you go. Jimmy Connors, 109 titles.
Yeah.
Federer 103, Djokovic 99.
Yeah. He probably I could see.
He probably does. He probably does want 110.
He probably does, and but I would say, like, I'd say this commenter's got a point. Like, 110 is going to be hard. I think
110 will be really. He would have to play a bunch of 250s.
You like I've said this before, but a bunch of 250, and he's not going to do that. I mean, he might, but yeah, I mean, he might. But like he's going to be playing Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, who I still believe are going to be getting better every month from here for like the next 7 years.
Yeah,
which is disturbing to think about. He won one title this year, Djokovic. It was the Olympics. He won 7 last year, 5 the year before, 5 the year before, 4 the year before, 5 the year before, 4. So he's been winning. 7 was like a great year in 2023, but now it's down to 1. So yeah, he'll get 100, I think, no doubt.
No doubt.
So I don't think this guy's right, just because he's too good not to if he keeps playing. But yeah.
Yeah, I just hate the whole like he'll never do this. Like, man, he was just in the final. Like, don't do this.
Made a career of people saying he'll never do this. Like,
yeah.
And then this other guy, last one, user Matisse said, you watched another match because it was not tight. Sinner didn't concede any 40 to Djokovic. It means that there was never during the match, not even a single moment where Djokovic could get a break. If this was not complete domination, I don't know what is. Bro, if you don't know what is, like, go watch Bernard Tomic in the final of the Fairfield Challenger this week, where he lost 6-0, 6-1 in 39 minutes to an 18-year-old. That's complete domination. Djokovic getting broken by Sinner in one game. He only faced 2 break points. A tiebreaker, you know what that's called? A tiebreaker for a reason. There's a tie and it's broken by this in a set, meaning it's objectively close. So you're out to lunch. I did watch the match, but I appreciate the comment. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, we'll go ahead and get into the next one. I do love it. I love when the videos pop off. So the next one we have Nadal, the king of clay, retired.
Yeah.
So we need to
retirement.
Remove your hat real quick. Moment of silence for
Yeah.
Rafa Nadal.
The greatest to ever do it on clay
Mm.
by a long shot. It's not even close. Like, if you're out there, if you're a junior tennis player coming out here to be the greatest ever on clay, don't even try. Don't start. You'll
Give
never
up
do
on your
it. It's
dreams. That's what Nadal's career taught us. Is if you like to play on clay, give up on your dreams of becoming the winningest clay tennis player.
he
So hey,
is. Yes. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
what is some of your favorite or least favorite Nadal moments? Because I know I'm with you. I'm a Federer fan as well. So
Well, yeah. I mean, Nadal. Yeah, a lot of my view as a Federer fan growing up are just like nightmare material, right? Like literally nightmare fuel. Like, have you ever had those dreams, JP, where you're like trying to do something in a dream and you can't do it? It's like you're in a battle and
oh
your gun never works. You pick up another one, it doesn't work, or you're
brother,
like shooting on a net and it can just never go in. Somehow the goalie always flies back and gets it. I have those dreams with tennis where you're trying to put a ball away and somehow the guy just always gets it back. Like he's climbing in the crowd and like hitting it back to you, and you're just like, so that's kind of like the dreams you have when you're, or it's kind of like what you're watching when you watched anyone play Nadal, but Federer on clay, you're watching him play him, and Nadal's just bombing these left hand topspin forehands into Federer's one handed backhand above his head over and over and over. And Federer wins points or he gets some momentum, and then but you see how hard he has to work to get that past Nadal. And then Nadal's movement, his power, and his competitiveness on the clay and everywhere else. I'm not just signaling to clay, but obviously
right?
it's like his clay was where it was like probably the most dominant form of tennis we've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's arguably. I was seeing a thread on Twitter of is Nadal on clay the most dominant athlete ever?
Yeah, like I would say yes,
It
which is
legit would
crazy
have to
because I
be
still wouldn't say he's the greatest tennis player of all time, but
right.
yes, yeah, like I would say that.
Because you can't I feel like the people that they would compare with for as far as dominance would go would be like a Floyd Mayweather and like
Yeah,
these undefeated combat sports guys. But any sport with a ball, man, he has to be like every year when they pull the French Open and they roll his stats there. I mean, every single time my mouth drops. And I remember one of my earlier tennis memories is the 2008 Wimbledon final with him and Federer because
mm,
my mom likes tennis, and so I was watching it. We got up early with her, and after that match, we went out. We went up to the tennis courts in my neighborhood and played. And remember, like I've had no lessons or anything. I'm just an average athletic white guy,
yeah.
and we were both smacking that ball like it was unlike anything either of us had ever seen. We legit left the court and we're like, we have got to watch 5 hours of tennis before we play every single time because that was a blast.
Is this the
But
best? Was it the best tennis you'd ever played?
ever and
Yeah,
still to this day, I mean, I was so dialed, but during that match, because my mom is a huge Federer fan, she is sitting in her chair screaming, going nuts when the dolls get into some of these balls. How
yeah,
does he keep getting there? She's like, Fed, put him away. And he
yeah.
just kept on covering the court, kept on ruining my mom's morning. It was crazy.
And that's what it is. Like his legacy as being like one of the greatest competitors we've ever seen is just like is that like if you were like you just can't believe the balls he got to, you can't believe how the angles he could find with his forehand, how much topspin he could put on it. And then yeah, I think this was kind of before I actually started watching. I wasn't even really watching tennis at that point, but I have gone back so many times and watched that 2008 Wimbledon final
Mhm.
and or Nadal coming and beating Federer at Wimbledon. It was just like I think the commentator said it was like a changing of the guard. Like there's a new man at the top of men's tennis, and he'd been
Yeah.
like pounding on the door for a while. But Federer was like, he could only really get Federer at the on the clay, and he was the king of Roland Garros already. But he's like, oh, the fire has spread, and now he's like he can do it on grass now. And when there's that picture of him laying on the ground there in the dark, like just like going like yes, winning. And I posted a picture on the Slice of him in the crowd like coming down, and
that was an epic photo.
like just sick photo. Like just that's when like you went from like, okay, Federer was already at that point one of the greatest of all time. It's like I think people realize that it's like Nadal's now one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
And that was 2008. And, he's just hanging it up now, and it's 2024. Yeah, we've just been unbelievably blessed to be able to watch this guy do his thing for this many years and go through injuries. But yeah, there's magic they talk about on the tennis court. Like the reason people play tennis, like he's up there with anyone. It's the reason why people play tennis. Like when he was playing great and hitting these monster winners and these points, like he just got crowds all over the world going absolutely nuts. And just inspired people to play like you and your mom, which is a really cool story.
Right. Which is, it speaks to the powerful the power that Nadal holds in the tennis world to get like, to just normal sports fans, like we got to hit the tennis court.
Yeah. Powerful, man. Awesome. We'll miss him. So anyways, when he actually retires, we'll do another full tribute to him.
For sure.
He deserves an hour plus.
Would love to see him get a dub in Davis Cup.
We would love to see that. That'll be good to watch. But maybe for like a podcast, then, which actually is not too far from now, but it'd be like we could break down Nadal's like top 5 tennis, like top 5 final matches or top 5 accomplishments in tennis. We could run through them. Good.
No, I love
that.
So
if you think of any commenters, leave them in the comments below about what we should talk about.
Comment your favorite Nadal moments.
That's right.
Now, should we get into the interview?
Absolutely. XXL.
Interview with XXL. Guys, I know I said it at the top of the show, but truly, this guy was an awesome dude. Awesome hang. This was my first time meeting him, and it was incredible. He's from the Northeast. The way he heard about tennis, and he'll get into it, was a knock on his door, and I'll leave it at that. Someone knocked on his door. Next thing you know, he starts playing tennis, got all the way. He played D2 college tennis. Didn't even really know he was going to do it until his aunt gave him some advice. Overall, awesome story, grassroots tennis story, and all the success he's having off the court or on the court with his social media now. It couldn't be happening to a nicer guy. So I really think you guys will enjoy this interview. And here it is. The Slice Tennis fans and friends, thank you for tuning in to this interview with my guy, Jonathan, a.k.a. XXL Tennis on Instagram, Twitter, everything. Go follow him. His page is awesome. It's super inspiring. I came across his videos a while ago, immediately got hooked to the journey, and he has been crushing it. Everybody drop the clapping emoji in the comments for our boy, Jonathan. Jonathan, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. Thank you again for having me. And I love it. Let's get to it.
Of course, man. And so, hey, where are you coming to us from right now?
I am in Stamford, Connecticut. But I was born and raised in Norwalk, Connecticut, which is about a couple towns over.
Got you. So you're a cold weather guy. Probably not what a lot of people would think, like myself, not the most tennis weather place to grow up in. So when did you kind of get into tennis?
I got in at actually a very early age, 5 years old. They're doing a grassroots program right next to my complex, inner city kid, and the coach was just walking up to doors and just knocking on doors, like, "Hey, do you want to play tennis?"
Really?
Yes. So very, very inner city. A lot of kids will just join, play, and I just kept up with it for years.
Dude, that's awesome. So do you have any siblings or just only child?
I am I have half siblings. I didn't grow up with any of them. I kind of met my first one when I was in teens and the next one a little bit after that.
Got you. So tennis, was it in the family at all? Or it was just like, oh man, this is fun?
Oh yes, it was very random. My mom signed the papers and I went to go play. And I love it. The program is a grassroots program out of Norwalk, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. They take inner city kids, keep them off the streets, and teach them how to play tennis.
That's awesome, man. And so did you play high school tennis? Did you do USTA stuff, or was it all just kind of like random camps and everything?
So high school tennis, of course. Well, USTA, of course. When you're younger,
Yep.
USTA isn't as big as it is now. But you play tournaments here and there. JTT was just starting out. Junior team tennis was
Gotcha.
just starting out. And then from there, well, you're pretty sure you're gonna ask me, but from there, college, of course.
What
And
college you go to?
I went to Post University in Waterbury, Connecticut, which is a
Gotcha.
D2 school. So I played Division II tennis.
Let's go. How was the transition from high school to college? Was the level crazy, or were you kind of used to the higher competition?
Level is crazy because as soon as you get into college, you meet international students and their work ethic
Mhm.
different, very different. Their playing style is very different. I ended up doing a lot of changes to my game because big serve, big forehand,
Right.
and he really don't care about that. No, they hit and they run. Listen, that's all they did. Um, but yeah, you adapt, you change, you make the program better, you get better players in there, and then program does well. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Where were you? What number were you on the team?
So my freshman year, unfortunately, I was redshirted.
Got
When
you.
we played high school tennis, they didn't even know about Division II, Division One. They were like, "Oh, what's clearinghouse?" So, I missed a science class that I needed not to graduate high school, but I needed to play tennis. So I redshirted my freshman year. And
Wow.
had I not redshirted, maybe number two, I came in my sophomore year playing number 2, 3, and then it just bloomed from there. We got some kids from Egypt, some kids from Spain, and they crazy. So my
Right.
last year, I ended up playing 5 and 6, and two
Mm,
doubles. I was a huge doubles player. But
gotcha.
it was nuts, and we had I don't know if you would know, but Concordia was in our
Yeah.
conference, and they were huge at the time,
Oh yeah.
huge, and they were the hardest people to play, man. They, my God, it
They,
wasn't the
you got whooped up on
easiest.
one match?
Oh my God, watching them was, let's just say you were stunned how well they played,
Yeah.
and it was more like, wow, like how does he do that versus, oh, am I gonna beat him? No.
Yeah. Dude, it reminds me, like, because I was listen do you ever listen to the Nothing Major podcast with Jack Sock
Yes,
and all them?
yes.
When I forget which one of them asked, but they were like, "Did you guys ever actually go into a Grand Slam thinking like, hey, maybe I got a chance at this one?" And they were all like, "No, not really." I was like, "God
Exactly.
dang."
Exactly. American tennis is way better now.
Oh
Way better
yeah.
now than we played. But yeah, when you're stepping into international tennis, you just see very different things coming out of everywhere. Our number
Right.
one before I left was out of Croatia, and just
Gotcha.
watching him play, and he wasn't a small dude. He was pretty stocky, and just watching him play and how long he can last and how well he can hit the ball, it's just very different. Very different.
Yeah. When I got into tennis, it was like I'm a late bloomer in tennis. I watched it growing up, like with my mom. Whenever like Wimbledon was on, we'd always watch Wimbledon, U.S. Open, but that was about it. And then I started working at IMG Academy in 2019,
Okay.
and that's when I sort of just start to follow along with everybody. I'm like a videographer for my full time job,
Uh-huh.
and at IMG, I had started working with some of the tennis players. A lot of the guys that come in there and all the students are like, so many of them are international. And
Yeah.
it is true, like their work ethic and drive to their sports is a lot different than the American kids I was seeing at
Mhm.
IMG as well.
Yes.
Did you ever hit any camps at IMG?
No, no, no. Did not hit any cancer at IMG. Like
Gotcha.
I said, a lot of stuff that like you would think like oh, IMG, you would think like a lot of maybe like Orange Bowl, things like that.
Mhm.
I didn't know about that until I hit college. I didn't know
Man.
this was accessible, things like
Right.
that. We were just lucky to play. And then
Got you.
how I grew up. And we were lucky that we were doing well in our high schools. I was number 2 and 1 in high school, right?
Mhm.
Playing all the number ones, playing all the number twos, going to states. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing well. And then you get to college and you're like, wait a second, there was this, there was
Yeah.
that. How did
You're
we
like,
not know about this?
I was the man about a month ago. What the heck happened?
Exactly. And then
Dang.
you learn quickly, very quickly, that like tennis is a mass sport,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow. And shortly after, UTR came out, and even then, you're like, wow, this is nuts.
Right. So it's probably been cool for you to see it from the when did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school in 2011.
Got you. So you're
Hmm.
3 years older than me. And dude, it's one of the reasons I got into tennis is like the lack of exposure to the sport for like the average American sports fan. And then it
Hmm.
trickles down to exactly what you're saying with like you didn't even know about Orange Bowl or any of these things, which in my head is crazy. It's like and you compare it to like basketball or football, like everybody knows the Under Armour All American game or like,
Hmm.
all these different camps. And so, like, the goal is obviously to shine some more light so more kids can get exposed. But is
Exactly.
there like, is there a person that you kind of that you would give the flowers to of like, man, without this guy, I never would have got to where I'm at now, or like never would have made it to the college level?
Oh yes, of course. My coach, when I was younger, his name is David Kimani. He's out of Kenya,
Mhm.
and the story is kind of beautiful because he taught me when I was younger, and I'm helping teaching his kids now that they're younger. One of them just went off to go
Yeah,
to college, D1. The other, the
that's
middle
cool.
child is a national player right now, and
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing. Without him, there was no tennis. He was the one that knocked on the door. Right.
Wow.
He was the one. I still go back to him. Still go back to him.
Mhm.
I'm on the court every day, so I see him, and anything that I ever had a problem with, he helped out with. Right.
Man,
When I tell you a little bit more about myself, I used to work for Indeed.com.
nice. I've been on there before.
In that tech field, and they just had layoffs, big tech layoffs, things like that. I was unfortunately impacted. I called him.
Mhm.
He's like, "Oh, so when you're coming on the courts?" Immediately,
What a guy.
right? Exactly. So without him, yeah, forget all the things I learned in college. Forget everything. Just literally without him as a rock, this wouldn't be possible at all.
That's awesome. Was there ever a point you thought about quitting or were you always like locked in?
When you get into like 17-year-old, like junior level, and
Mhm.
or junior age, and you see all your friends playing basketball, you kind of want to go play basketball. There
Yeah.
was some times where I missed, I was playing basketball, at the local club, and just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna miss tennis today,
Mhm.
not realizing how important. Like, if you known how much you have to stay on tennis when you're younger, it is tough, man.
Crazy. For a kid with like not a lot of attention span either. Like you're young. You just want to be playing around.
Exactly, exactly. But that was the most time I had away from tennis, was trying to just play basketball over the weekends, and I was missing my Sunday clinic that was a scholarship at a local club, and I was just like,
Mhm.
well, we're not paying for it, so
Yeah, right. They're like,
so
"Hey, Jonathan, we got somebody else right after you we can hand this to."
exactly, exactly. But after that, college was on the spectrum, and it wasn't
Mhm.
really. I wanted to go to college for music.
Okay. What instruments you play?
I sing.
Let's go. You got some
Yeah.
music out there? Ah.
I'm featured on a couple of my boys' songs, but
Okay.
not much out there. Not much out there. And like you, I transitioned to more behind the scenes quickly. So I'm also
Mhm.
a videographer, photographer.
Love it.
So yes, yes, yes. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, whoa, you need like a 3.5. It's very competitive to do this. And then my aunt was like, why don't you go play tennis? I was like, for college? He was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. So not to mention that the coach for Post University comes down just because he's rebuilding his team and he needs people. He comes down, he sees my serve, and he's like, "Yeah,
Ooh.
I want you on my team." And that was when I was a junior. So when I ended my junior year, I started emailing people out, and right there in my email, he's like, "Hey, are you thinking about any colleges, things like that?" And I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Well, come on by. Let's get you a tour. Let's do this. Let's do that." I'm like, "Sure." And scholarship, and I went to go play D2 tennis, and I was like, "Wow, this is
Just
different."
like that.
Just like that, yeah. And you just don't know until you know, or at least back then. Now, very
Right.
different. Like, you know, if you're gonna go play tennis in college.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, you spent a lot of money on this sport to be like,
Yeah.
yeah. But back then, no. People weren't gonna play in Division 2, Division 1.
Right. Man, it
So,
is not, and it's truly like it's not that long ago. So shout out to everybody involved that is making it, way more accessible, or like people that are just acting as some sort of guidance counselors, like, hey, these are the options.
exactly.
Um, did your boys, if you were like into basketball, did your boys ever clown you for playing tennis, or were they like all supportive?
All the time, all the time. Why you not playing a physical sport? Why you not playing football? I've had football coaches walk up to me during tennis tournaments and say, "Did football just not work out?" And I'm like, "No, played tennis my whole life. What do you mean did football does not work out?" And they look at my speed. They look how big I was.
Yeah.
Always bigger than your average tennis player. And they look at my speed and they're like, "You could easily do this, do that." And I'm like, "I'll just stick."
Yeah.
I mean, we played football, growing up, you
Right.
know, in the city. We played football in the snow, football in the fall, football. You had to play every sport growing up there.
Right.
But no, I couldn't even imagine. I should have took the easier route. Now thinking about it, just go play football.
Because how tall are you?
I'm about almost between 6 and 6'1".
Yeah, I mean, the coaches they would have had a field day because you're on the tennis court. They already know, like, okay, this dude can move,
Yeah.
and it's rare. It's rare on the football field, but that's awesome, man. So when I know you went to some tournaments this past year, like
Yes.
pre-college, maybe even in college. Had you been to any ATP or WTA like 500 level tournaments just as a fan before, or did all no? When was the first
No,
time
this
you
is the
went?
first. This
This
was the
year?
first time. Oh, wait, wait,
That
wait. Pilot Pen. When I used to have the Pilot Pen in Yale, we used to go there, but that was more of a like
right.
a kids' day at the US Open. It wasn't the tournament. I
Mhm.
remember on Pilot Pen, Mofi is laying on the bench. We have no idea who this guy is. He's laying on the bench, and he's just listening to music. And all of a sudden, our coach David goes, "There's a professional tennis player." And we walk up to him, and his accent is heavy at the point, and we're just astounded by how tall he was.
Yeah.
Because you're young, and he goes on the court a little later. He's just cracking balls. I'm like, this is amazing. And then
Yeah.
little later than that, we got to meet Donald Young's mother,
Nice.
and we were kids at the time. My last name is Young. We're kids
Right.
at the time. So I'm literally trying to get her to notice that my last name is the same as his the whole time. I didn't care about his tennis. I didn't care. All I saw was a young kid with a huge diamond in his ear playing tennis
Mhm.
as a, and we're just having fun. So it's more like a kids' day. But
Right.
now when we went to the Atlanta Open,
Mhm.
a good friend of mine is part of USA Southern, so she got me tickets to the Atlanta Open when I went down there, and just watching players in front of you. Like, it's not the US Open, you're not behind a
Right.
screen. You're right there, right? And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
this is if to any tennis players out there, you go to the Grand Slams, great experience. But if you can make it to any
Mhm.
of the two 250 level, 500 level, Masters 1000 levels, you need to go, because they in the Grand Slams, they kind of gatekeep away from the players a little bit because there's so many,
Mhm.
so many, so many people out there. But in these smaller ones, it was like watching on a high school fence, right? Watching
It's a great picture for it.
it really is. And we were there when Opelka was there, and
Yep.
we're at the bottom. So we're just watching this guy come out, and he looks like he should be riding a Harley Davidson. He's huge. The serve bot, they really don't. You can't fathom that watching him on, the TV. You just can't.
You putting one back on him?
Huh? Can
You returning a serve on him?
it's on my racket. I don't know where it's going, but it's on my racket.
I like
And
that.
and just watching him play, and then like trying to understand what he wants to do with the ball and what he is doing with the ball is nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah. It's that different level, man. And so I know you got hooked up with those tickets. We'll
Mhm.
kind of go into when your social media, what year, like what was the timeline of your first video popping off?
Oh, you're not gonna believe this. I've only had my tennis videos since April.
Bro, what?
Yes, my very first one. The
Because I mean,
very
I
first
scroll it
post.
and you see it's April, but I'm thinking like, oh, he deleted or like whatever, deleted some other post. That's your very first one.
Very first one. This Instagram, to go a little bit back, this Instagram was,
Yeah.
you know how people make like Instagrams just to do like other things on it, try other things, right?
Right.
So this Instagram was made, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything on it. Why not just start changing everything up? Like I put to my old an old photo from college up there, and while I was in a practice shirt. Oh, double XL tennis. That makes sense. I'm a big guy, so I just
Right.
just did, and the goal was just to show like where I was to where I am, because I took videos of myself all the time, right?
Right.
Posted on my story on my main page, things like that, on my really my main photography page, things like that. And I'm like, okay, let's just post. I don't really, I don't care where it goes. I post, and all of a sudden it just starts going, and I'm like, I, I didn't mean to do this, but it just started
Yeah.
going. Yo, this is crazy. First post, and it's just my
Man.
fourth, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, this is interesting. This is
Hey,
interesting.
and what a lesson, like to anybody out there that wants to get into the content game, like what Jonathan just said, just post. Because truly you never know what's going to happen.
Oh
And
no,
now you can't expect this instant views like my guy right here, but that's the first step and you do never know what could happen. So
yes.
on that first video, which one did Venus comment on? Was it the first one or no?
No, 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 no. I don't even
Okay.
remember. It might have been like the third or fourth, and it was another one. Like I was just playing around on my just playing with one of my boys and just videoing what I was doing. And I literally had a work shirt on at that point, right? And I'm oh, these nice couple of forehands look good. Let me post that.
Yeah.
And then later that night, I think it was that night or night before, night after, like 11 o'clock at night, I see Venus Williams, and I'm like, there's no possible way. There's no. I'm
Ooh.
calling everybody I know at this point. My boy from college, or other one. I'm like, yo, Venus Williams just commented on my post, bro. What did she say? What did she say? She had nice strokes. What? It
God, bro.
was. Then I was like, all right, I got to take this a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
A little
But
bit.
real quick, before you get into the more of it, when Venus comments and when you're like thinking of a response, were you in your head about it? Like, all right, what should I say? Should I wait a little bit to respond?
Absolutely. 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 I still look at the responses like, why did I respond like that?
Oh no. You're like, maybe I'll come
Absolutely.
back to this reply again.
I left it alone after that. I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna let it be.
Bro,
It's already out there.
that is so funny because that's whenever that something like that happens in the internet world. If somebody cool comments on a post, somebody you're a fan of, I know for me personally, I get it, immediately shoot it to my friends. I'm like, I want to respond like right now. They're like, yo, they just tweeted that 10 seconds ago. I'm like, I know, I play it cool. Probably respond 2 minutes later,
There you go.
but that is cool.
I saw it late. I saw it as I took a nap. I saw it when I woke up. I was like, yeah, I gotta reply now. Like, what do I
Got
say?
to.
Oh
That
my
is cool. And so then
yeah.
you start to take it more serious a little bit after that. And
Yes.
what does that mean exactly?
So two things happened. A little bit after that. I don't know if it was before that or after that. I don't really know the timeline. Technofiber reaches out to me and they're like,
Yes.
hey, we want you to, you know, do you mind trying to rock some Technofiber? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, let me talk to my agent.
Exactly. What do you say to that? I've never thought
Right.
about playing with Technofiber ever, but I was like, sure. And I love my Onyxes. I love my
Yeah.
Onyxes. I didn't have them in college. I had Babylon in college, but I love them, right? And but I'm like, might as well try it. So I go to a local shop, get some rackets, just to test them out, and I end up liking the TF40. And I'm like, yeah, let's why not? Why
Yeah.
not? Right?
Why
And so
not?
they sent me over a frame, some shorts, and then they're like, oh, just keep posting about it. So I'm like, sure, absolutely.
That's
And I
so
was
cool, man.
yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Let's take this a little bit more serious. Let's put a goal to it. Let's put a goal to it. And it didn't really hit home until when I went to Atlanta. I somebody stopped me at the Atlanta Open, and they're like, I know you from Instagram. You want to
That's
play and things like that. Like me and my boys, we love playing around here. And he was a head pro at a private club and a
nice.
school down there, which I didn't know they had those, like a private club in a school. But anyway,
Yeah.
and I I go there, and it was next to where we were staying, and I'm playing, and I get to the courts, and then there's this bigger guy, right, just maybe as big as me, maybe a little shorter, and he comes to me, he's like, "Bro, you have no idea what like how much you're inspiring everybody,"
God, that's awesome.
and I'm like, "I don't, I don't have."
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like I'm playing next to a celebrity right now. I'm like, God, I'm just a small town person out of Connecticut. Like, you know what I mean?
That's awesome,
And
man.
these guys were good. These guys were really good. Well, the head pro there, he grew up with uh, Donald Young and somebody else. I can't remember. I don't know if it's Townsend or Coco, but it was somebody else. And
Eubanks, maybe.
huh?
Maybe Eubanks.
Eubanks, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And then he had a huge serve, 130-mile-per-hour serve. I'm like, and this guy wants to play with me. Like, and he
Nervous. Like, oh, I got to live up to the hype now.
yeah, right, exactly. Very nervous, very nervous. This is the first time I'm playing outside of anywhere, and I do well. I do well. One of the players there, very calm, and when you get to those calm players, you kind of know they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I held my own. I held my own. It was great.
I
Best
love
of
it.
game. And they want to play again. If I ever go down, which I probably will because we have family down there. But
Right.
it was like, yeah, yeah. This is the people. People are really inspired.
I mean,
Really inspired.
dude, the first time somebody comes up and asks you for a photo has to just be like so cool. You're like, didn't even know you were going to play college tennis. Your aunt
Yeah.
makes a comment like, hey, you should do it. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll start posting. Fast forward a few months, boom. Hey, man, when people see you, do they say like, hey, double XL, or do they like ask you your name first?
When I was stopped at like the U.S. Open by a couple
Yeah.
people, double XL, like, hey, double XL, and things like that. But
Yeah.
and then they obviously we meet. They know they figure out my name quickly.
Right. Nah,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. And then you also went to the City Open, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And that was I was invited by Technofiber. So I went to go see because they run the whole thing. So I got to see a lot of people. And I get into the shop, and then there's this guy who's training in the back. He runs over, jumps over the thing. He's like, I gotta get a picture with you. I love what you're doing. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. So I took a picture with a bunch of them, and it's a great guy, great
Yeah.
strokes. I've seen him play, and he still comments on everything that I do, and we talk a little bit, and it's just a lot of love. That's all it is. I got to meet um, uh, Gary, who is a complete court tennis.
Like, oh yeah, nice.
Yes, yes, yes. He was great, and then another Instagrammer as well. She's big, and it was just love. Like it's small knit family in Technofiber,
Right.
but I didn't feel anything about Yannick's just started out,
Mhm.
right? You can tell it kind of just started out. Technofiber is gonna bloom. At least that's what it feels like. So
Right.
hopefully we do. And then at the City Open, I got to see Ben Shelton practice up close. Tiafo it's again, it's like that. You're on the fence
Right.
at a level. It's again, if you ever go to the small tournaments. They're not expensive. Go.
Yeah.
You're going to see some amazing tennis.
Who would be your say like maybe top 5 players to meet? That this doesn't mean you think they're the best, but top 5 players you would love to meet.
All right. Chris Eubanks. I think he's
Yep.
just overall cool. Just overall cool. And he's also the only techno fiber guy that I would want to meet first before Medvedev.
Yeah.
Just saying. And then Medvedev, because I hear the
Have
podcast.
to.
I gotta meet him, right? You gotta just have a
Bro,
small
he's the
conversation.
best.
Taylor Tonstead. I think I watch her on Instagram, and
Mhm.
just the what she shows on Instagram, I think she'd be cool to meet. Very cool
Right.
to meet. And then I love watching her play. Great player.
Mhm.
Um, Donald Young, only because
There
of the
you
last.
go.
And then obviously Roger Federer, right?
Yeah.
Gotta meet that icon. I
That's a
think I said
strong. Yeah, that was 5. That was 5. Strong 5.
yes.
I love where American tennis is at too, with because you named a few American guys. Eubanks, he's crushing the media game.
Yep.
I've tried to talk to his agent a little bit about getting him into the podcasting game,
Uh-huh.
whether it's has me involved in it or not. I just know he would crush it and he would bring like the fans what they would want. But I also think your page is such a good example for these players because it's like tennis social media, and maybe you disagree with me, but I think the athletes in tennis do a way worse job than all the other sports of like posting and kind of engaging with their fans in like a authentic way. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I definitely feel that. Definitely feel
Yeah.
that. Like I just feel like T- Taylor does a great job. She
Yeah.
does a great job engaging with her fans. And if every tennis player, especially American tennis player, did that,
Mhm.
it would be great. But they're very gated. They're very,
I
I
know, it's crazy.
almost like they just repost and that's really it in a sense.
Repost, grab the photos from the tournament photographer,
Oh,
and then like post the photos from the thing. It's like, man, the photos are sick. Don't get me wrong, but we want to see like the behind the scenes at the tournament, all the stuff that these NFL, NBA guys are doing. Tennis
exactly.
could do,
And then
but
Tiafo. Tiafo, I think he rides around with a photographer.
yeah,
I've seen him on court with him. So I'm like, why don't we see more from you, bro?
I'm
Like I want to
telling
hear
you,
more from you. What we see is the cool stuff. I want to see, what's the day in, day out. Like the
right?
biggest coming off of Taylor's page is like when she was trying to go from was it Toronto or Montreal, trying to get to Cincinnati. Like that, I want to
Yes,
see about that. That's
exactly.
cool.
Like Jessica Pagula when she was tweeting after, I think this was last year, but it was like around her birthday. She played terrible in the final. She
Mhm.
like had an overall horrible day, and she like recapped her day in a tweet, and it was like, "Oh man, this sucks." And she added some little funny thing at the end, and the tweet blew up, and I'm just like, "This is what we want." Like it made me tune into her stuff so much more. Um,
Exactly. Just
but
just little things like that. And I also get it as a creator. I was literally on court Saturday. It was a beautiful day Saturday. So I was on court Saturday with my girlfriend, and we're just trying to create, even just with the slinger that I have,
mhm.
and angles. And I'm a photographer, videographer, and
Yeah,
frustrated. It's like, bro, I thought I was in frame. No, I wasn't in frame. And I had to get her to come up and look, make sure I'm in frame and things like that. And I'm like, this wasn't it. And by the time you actually get it, you're physically out there. So those next 5-10 shots may not be the best ones, and you're like,
right.
So
Yeah,
as a creator, it's tough, but still, when you have some influence, you have some money, get somebody to just hold around something. You just
right.
talk to us.
And they're gonna make more money off of it too, which is
Exactly.
what they all want. But
Exactly.
I love it, dude. And then Sabalenka when she was getting frustrated with the ball girl.
Yes, yes,
Did you
yes.
see this video?
I believe so. It's the one that no, maybe I didn't see the one. The one that when the ball girl was throwing balls at
Yeah, and
that
she's
was
like,
yes, I did.
"Oh wait, who? It was her, right?
I think so. I want to say yes. We're gonna double
What?
check this.
What?
I know exactly
What's
what
your?
you're talking about.
Yeah. What's your take on the on when players get a little upset with the ball boys, ball girls?
So a little bit about that. My college teammate, he was a ball boy for US Open. And
Oh,
I would ask him some questions. He was like, yeah, some players they're just they're just not good. They curse at themselves. You don't need a lot of stuff you don't see on TV. Probably see
Right.
it more now than anything because tennis TV does this thing. But like, you know what I mean? Like in social media. So when I saw that, I was like, really?
Mm,
First things first is in the moment, you probably don't know. You probably don't know
right.
that's going on TV. You probably thought like anything could have really happened. And then I want to know what they say after. And I always go back to like see if the news people were just bold enough to ask the question like what was going on in that moment.
Right.
And it's like she got what she needed. Social media is not going to allow you to get away with things like this, right?
Right.
You are on camera at all times, and that may be whatever it may be, frustrating, nerve
Yeah.
wracking. You're on camera, so you need to, and whether your excuse was PR or not, just wasn't okay, right? And
Right.
I'm honestly, I'm glad social media. That's the biggest help with social media. And there's a lot of other things, right? I watched your last podcast. There's a lot of other things. Like they don't need to make fun of us all the time, but
Right.
that not let things ride like that. These are the moments where social media can shine. Like, hey,
Yeah. No, I
like
like that a lot. And me personally, I'm a Sabalenka fan, so it's like it was tough to see. And obviously, I'm not gonna hold this one moment over her because I do think she's fun. I think she's a good person, all that
yes,
stuff. But as we're talking about social media, and you watched our podcast last week, the hate comments, your boy can feel some hate from the tennis fans because I'm not a day one guy,
yeah,
and I
that's
have a different take on tennis, like just how I am. I know your comments, they can get dicey. How do you handle it? Do you laugh? Do you get upset? Like how does double XL tennis handle the comment page?
well, all right. When I first saw it, I was like, "What is this?" Like, and then someone hit me up and said they sent me. I forget what his handle is, but he's this international kid who just a little bit big as me, and I guess his first one is him falling after like a volley or something like that. And he kind of just leans into it. He
Right.
puts his captions, Yannick Dinner, puts this, with that. Great player, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna lean into it. I'm not going to lean into it. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just going to allow it to just be. And because this guy
Right.
that sent it to me is like, you just let it be. It's making you such and such. I'm like, okay, sure. Some of them are funny. I laugh at some of them. There was one that said a Cocoa Puff. I was laughing at that one. I was like, all right, that was kind of funny. But some of
Right.
them, like, cool. It's a fad. I'm gonna let it be to what it is, things like that. And then some of them are vulgar. Some of them are actually
Older.
and I'm like, wow. And it'll be the pages. I think one of you were saying it last time. It'll be the pages that you can't. There's no one,
Yeah.
no.
It's a phone number account.
Exactly. And I'm like, all right. So I can't even say. You know what I mean? I can't even address it. But soon after a while, people started addressing it for me.
That's the yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, yeah, definitely, you can do what you need to do. So the lower ones I would put up on my story as a comment, and then
Mhm.
people would just be in like, oh, what are you? I think there was this one from a professional player, and they just went in on him. He took it down. They were like, we're gonna call your PR people, such and such and such. And I was like, wow, I didn't want all this. But
Right.
like, I get it, right? Why how are you shaming somebody in your sport? Right.
Crazy.
That's absolutely nuts. Whether you wanted to join the fun or not, they're in your sport. You should be like, yes, make my sport more, appealing to everyone, right? And
Mhm.
then there's also the ones. These are the ones that we laugh about, the drop shot ones. You know why? Because they come from bad to say, but recreational players.
Right.
And you look at I'm not a recreational player.
At all.
Drop shot one of my forehands, drop shot one of my serves. We'll see how well you can hold up against them. And
Right.
we laugh about him because me and my tennis partner, I drop shot him all the time.
He probably
And
hates you.
he probably and I drop shot him as soon as I know it's gonna double bounce. I'm like, yep, yeah. One drop shot.
You recently hit one on him, didn't you? And post
Yes,
it?
yes, I did.
Because
I
he
did.
almost returned it.
Yep, yep. He almost got it. And it's funny. I hit the forehand. I didn't think the forehand was gonna go in. I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
ends up going in. So I already stopped my movement, and it comes over. I'm like, you know what? I'm just dropping it because he's way off the court, and I dropped it
Yeah.
from mid court. And I'm like, he's not expecting it. And yep, so he didn't make it. He was so upset.
Oh man.
No, and then after I cut it out, I was like, one drop shot.
We need it. The people need it. We need just a full drop shot compilation.
Yes, yes, yes. And
W-
it's crazy to say that, like, yeah, I'm always gonna be. I'm a big guy, right? I'm always gonna
Right.
be probably bigger than the average tennis player, right? Smallest I'll ever get, if I can even get there. It's probably how small Songa was at
Yeah.
one, right? And it's like, but we can still move. Don't.
Oh yeah, bro.
It's never the movement. It's how long we can do that movement. But we've been living with it forever,
Yeah.
so we know how to get past it. We know how to get past it, and then recreational players are one drop shot. I'm a drop shot lob you, drop shot lob you. Listen, I'm almost 6'1". Good luck. You know what I
Right.
mean? Good luck. And then people understand, like, when you drop shot, the next thing is to drop shot you back. So great. Now we're in an even playing field, and
Exactly.
at the net.
I love it, dude. We might need the next series, the next XXL tennis series might need to be you versus the recreational players. That
Maybe.
that would be epic. And kind of off that, we'll kind of wrap up a little bit. What is next for what is like the dream scenario for the next step of your page, your career? Wait, actually before that, what is your current job? Your like full-time job?
My full-time job, I'm still technically, I only have a part-time, which I'm
Got you.
just coaching. So listen, the game out here for jobs is crazy, and
Crazy.
I have a degree in tech, and I'm still, it's just nuts. It's nuts
Yeah.
that there's not really have just too many job seekers out here to jobs. And I will let you know when it happens. But right now, I'm just gonna write out a little bit of what I have, and we'll see.
Dude, hey, and I'm a bit like we'll get to know each other more after this. I love your vibe, but I'm a huge like I love listening to motivational speeches,
Mhm.
reading all the different quotes, like into all those types of creators. And like everything you're saying, all I'm hearing is like this is the perfect time to go all in on your tennis stuff. It's like all the signs are there. And obviously
Yeah,
you have the talent, you have the charisma, the personality, the athleticism, like you have everything you need to get it done. And it's like it could be viewed as a tough, like, it's never fun not being in the full-time work, but the other flip side of it is like why make a plan B when we're going all in on plan A?
exactly. That's what everybody keeps telling me. So I'm just gonna keep posting my journey. That was the goal in the beginning. If it keeps happening the way it's happening, we'll see. We'll see.
I
And
love
then
it. So then
uh,
what's next would be we'll see.
yeah, exactly. We'll see. I do have goals. I do have some goals. Like, I want to go back to playing some competition,
Yeah.
getting my ER back to where it was before 2020. But that's a goal in a year. I'm giving myself a
Right.
year to get back to my playing weight, get back to the feeling comfortable on the court, and not having any restrictions. That's really it. And then next year, if I get invited to more the 250s and 500s, you'll see me vlogging about that, and then just continue everything I'm doing, really.
Let's go. I love it. Hey, I'm a fan, been a fan. Great to meet you. We're gonna have to set something up in person somehow, some way at a
Of
tournament.
course,
And
of
we'll
course.
definitely have to get you back on. I know Steven missed out on this interview. Obviously, this is going to cut back to our episode where you guys will see Steven, but Steven y'all got to meet. Y'all would love each other. He grew up playing as well. So
Uh,
y'all would have that common ground. We could set up. This is what I think needs to happen. Did you see like the golf creator tournament? It was like a bunch of YouTubers that are into golf, and somebody with the PGA Tour like put on an event for these guys to play.
oh wow, really?
They need to do that for tennis and invite tennis creators and basically create an ATP, not like actual 250, but the same format as like ATP tournament, but
Yeah,
with the creators. And I think it would do incredible for the sport.
absolutely. That's an
It
amazing
would
idea.
Yeah. This is the first time I said it out loud publicly, I think, because I just saw the golf thing like a few weeks ago. I'm like, wait a second. So,
You gotta
dude,
take that to the bank. You gotta you gotta
gotta take
do
that
it.
to the bank.
And,
Maybe I'll be the tournament director. I'm gonna have you as the 1 seed.
thank you. That's funny. That's funny. Yes, absolutely. I think you should definitely do it, man. I'll definitely join no matter where it is. I know you're in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Nashville right now.
Yeah, I have a friend in not Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know exactly where he's from. But he's a D1 tennis coach right now. Great player.
Nice.
Yes, 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 yes.
Let's go. Well, heck yeah. Hey, Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on the Slice podcast, man. If you guys want to follow along, it is at XXL Tennis on all platforms. Y'all should definitely check them out. It is worth it. And now we will go back to the podcast.
Okay, JP. Well, great work on that interview with XXL, and that was great for getting him on the show. And like you said, super nice guy.
Thank you. First time doing an interview solo, I guess, outside of my other job. So
in tennis, you did a great job.
I told him, I said, you always remember your first.
He's like, that's cool. It's a little weird. He's all right. So smash or pass. I'm smashing that interview. That was a great interview. What else do we got here? Let's take a look.
First up, we have Instagram comment roast, which y'all saw some of the roasts in XXL Tennis, aka Jonathan's interview. Steven, you smashing or passing?
I'm smashing. I mean, I think I've seen so many reels, like Instagram reels out there where people are doing weird things, or like really stuff that, like, if they just had a buddy be like, dude, are you really going to post that? They never would have posted it. So I feel like the internet just takes on their own. They're like, hey, we'll pick up the slack for this buddy who wasn't there and just tell you how ridiculous it was. I do get a serious kick out of it. Sometimes it's like total harassment and bullying, but it's still kind of funny, which is like disturbing, just because people are very creative with like,
oh yeah,
I think you guys talked about it, Cocoa Puff or whatever. Like people's comments are just like, they're like way too honest because they can just say it behind their, like, a lot of people do it with like a fully like non-private Instagram account with their name and like their family's pictures. And they're being crazy. So I don't know. I just enjoy the chaos, I guess. So I'm smashing comments on Instagram. What about you, JP?
Smash as well, because there's nothing better than you're watching a video and you have that thought in your head that says the comment section is about to be incredible. And you go to it, and the first comment you read is, the way I ran to the comment section so fast. And then you just scroll. You can spend like 10 minutes on a post just looking at them. So I love it.
It is. Yeah, it's it can be great. It can be brutal. So if you're the subjective one, probably means your video has a lot of views. So that's, I guess, the secondary, the silver lining, as they would say.
Yeah, don't let them get to you. A millionaire is never going to hate on another millionaire, on an entrepreneur.
That's right.
So that's all you got to think about.
That's absolutely right. What about this, JP? Bernard Tomic, he's been a top topic of the show before, losing in 39 minutes.
Smash or pass? I am definitely smashing this one because I'm new. I'm a new tennis fan, and I have already seen a million headlines with this man, and it's always for these crazy reasons. And this just feels like almost like a troll of, I'm gonna go to the final. Let's see. This is only a challenger. Can I make the head? What can I do to make the headlines this time? The prize money isn't crazy. He probably doesn't need it. It's like, let me just grab some headlines anyway. So I will smash this 39-point match or 39-minute match.
Okay, smash or pass? I'm passing on that. If you're Bernard Tomic, he's a good player. He does not need to lose like this. I do not believe that he put in a good effort. And there's people, fans come out. It's a challenger, but there's still fans there who took time out of their day to come watch you. You got to put in a better effort than that, my man. Last one, JP, smash or pass, Sabalenka and the ball kid. What did you see there?
Unfortunately, I know it was heat of the battle. Y'all know I'm a Sabalenka fan, one of my favorite female players, but I unfortunately have to pass because before any player, I'm for the kids, no matter what, no matter who. I got to stand up for them. So guys, even if they're doing a bad job, remember they're just young kids, especially at these some of these other tournaments. This looked like a middle schooler maybe. So
Fair.
let's be nice to the ball boys. What do you think, Steven?
I smash it. It's to me, it's like the player blows off steam and the ball kid gets a funny story. I think hopefully unless I didn't actually see it, so that's fair. But like, was it that egregious? Like, did she like smoke her with the racket or something?
No, it was just the physical gesture of like,
Hurry up. Like,
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? If I was a kid, I'd be like, and then I'd be like waiting to get back to it with my buddies. And I'd be like, dude, did you guys see it? I'd be like, she got mad at you. Like, so, I don't think they're going home and crying like you kind of expect maybe, but so I smash it, whatever.
I love it. And that's all we got on the Smash or Pass.
That's it. That's all we got. That's a wrap. That's a great episode. JP, great work with the interview.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to the commenters for, sticking your neck out for us to chop on your ridiculous comments. We'll see you back in the comment section in our next video and on this video. And I guess JP will see him next week with more stuff to recap as the tennis tour continues.
Perfect. See you next week, brother.